So, you may have noticed that I have not been posting much of anything in a long time, except for like a few videos with some instrumentals, and there's a reason for that. So, around January, I got fired from my previous job. It was over some really, really petty stuff, stuff that it was just like, okay, y'all roped me into it. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do. The price of being neurodivergent in normie workplaces. So in the meantime, I've been asking for help, getting mutual aid from friends and other community members and folks that really care, and really put out help that they didn't have to. And I really appreciate them for that. I've also been still looking for work, like doing the retooling of my resume and posting job applications and doing all of that fun, unfun stuff. But I've also been working on my side hustles. The main side hustle that I've been focusing on has been music. And while it hasn't made a lot of money in the past, it was something that I was genuinely passionate about and still am. And I'm like, well, aside from applying for jobs and trying to clean my apartment and taking care of my boyfriend, what else is there for me to do? So making beats felt like a better idea than trying to stream on TikTok and play video games to an audience of 0 or 3 bots. So you will probably have seen, if the algorithm let you, that I posted some beats that I've made. I've also posted them on YouTube, on my new YouTube channel, which is under the screen name Mel X Redgrave, just like all of my other social media that's out there. And for the most part, I have been focusing on hip-hop music. I love hip-hop. Hip-hop is just what I've done in terms of production for a very long time. But I decided more so recently that I wanted to take a different avenue with my production skills and even my musical abilities. So I recently set out to do musical compositions and scores for adult content creators, not safe for work film. I put out some feelers on Twitter and on Blue Sky, and I talked to a few other people because I happen to know a lot of trans people that do sex work and do adult content creation of many different forms. Because it just seemed to make sense to me. It's just like a lot of the time, there's Gooner compilations and stuff out there, and the music is generally trash. Like, I don't know about you, but like, if I felt like gooning at some point in my life, I definitely don't want to do it to Pitbull's music or the same 6 drift funk tracks over and over for like however many hours a person tends to goon. It's not even all that strange in terms of musical avenues, because there have been loads of people that have scored music for adult film, since like the 70s and 80s. But it's even less strange when I thought about it, because my immediate inspiration for doing this was a man named Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones. Who? Mike Jones, 281-330-8004. Back then when they didn't want him and none of the hoes was all on him, he was making music for strippers. So like he would just make these custom songs for certain strippers. And I don't know how his whole system worked in terms of how he got paid, but it was a way of getting his name out there and increasing his skills as a producer. So knowing that I had a really good example to go off of, and it seemed like an idea that made sense, I ran with it. So seeing as I had a good example of what I could possibly be doing and a whole world of potential and leads ahead of me, I was like, why not? Let's go for it. I put some feelers out. I worked with one person on a free proof of concept that turned out pretty well, and they loved what I did. And then I ended up catching a really, really big one. So off the strength of good conversation and putting my intentions out into the world, I ended up doing some work for a client that had a really sizable presence on Twitter. In fact, it was pretty much a 2-for-1 special, because both performers involved in this video have sizable audiences. I think about 400,000 followers combined. It was an honor to work with them. We discussed rates, everything happened cleanly and quickly. And, within a short turnover time, I had their music for them. And as an experience, it kind of forced me to grow into the role. At first I thought I was really in over my head. especially since I produce mostly hip hop, and I'll dabble in like electronic music and other such things if I feel like it. But the theme that they had me do was totally out of my wheelhouse, and I was learning different techniques on my MIDI controller and different techniques on like my drum pad machine, and just like figuring things out piece by piece just so that I could give them my best work. Ultimately showed me that not only was this something that was good for me, it was also something that I really, really wanted to do, because I liked being forced to grow and have a goal in mind, especially after going through the process of discussing what they want out of my production and what vision they had for their videos. It's something that I want to do more of, and I would like to get to a point where I'm actually making a living and not having to work a 9 to 5, because like I want to do something that involves what I enjoy doing and something that kind of forces me to improve, because it's very goal oriented. There's a client, they have a vision, and the vision is that goal. So you do your best to sort of reach that vision, and you communicate back and forth to fulfill their needs. And, you know, if you love doing this music stuff, then it's fulfilling for you in a way, like it was for me. Like, I was stressing, but the stress was a good stress. It was a necessary stress. And, you know, after giving them what they wanted and seeing that they liked it, there was a certain satisfaction that I got that I haven't felt in a really long time. So, yeah, your girl's working in corn now. Yep, I am a corn musician. Corn, God. Anyway, yeah, that's what I've been up to. How are y'all?